I think this is probably where most of us start here on a yacht at Dead Shark Beach, and come back here because you can save, you can sleep, you get a bottle of booze, you can pick up 3 snack bars, a soft drink, some claws, and 2 ropes, which is important. I usually start straight ahead here at this little beach, and I do build around the beach and out on the rocks, but that's just to spend some time. I have a couple of places that I think are, at this stage, absolutely safe. I do a lot of traveling in stealth mode, but when I start, I like to come to this little beach over here. I used to come and just jump in and swim across here until version 59, I think, 58 maybe. I jumped in and got visited by a shark. He didn't get me, but he came and looked. Scared the crap out of me. But this little beach, I will run in here and have a lot of the sticks come in here and make a little shelter and save. Right then, build a little fire, because I'm picking up rocks and sticks all the way. And then this little area here is where I get most of my logs. Second thing I do is cut down a bunch of trees and make my raft, which is what I now use to travel out to the yacht, because I don't like swimming with the sharks. So up the coast this way to the east, inland is north right here, are 2 of the bases I'll show. These are 2 of the safest bases I have found. One is an island, and one might as well be, but they're very useful. This is fairly busy along here, so I have a toggle crouch, and then I have an axe, which is a good weapon, but it's a much better blocker than the katana. As I come along, I will pick up stones and sticks until I've got 20 sticks and 10 stones. But if I'm traveling in stealth mode, I can usually avoid a lot of trouble. And this axe is a very, very good blocker. If I get by surprise here, I can defend myself a little bit, but I can also kill with it. So the first place up here is quite a ways. So we'll chug along in stealth mode. It's a little slower than normal, but it works. Down to the right will be the peninsula, which is the base for my first base. I have to be careful because moving along in stealth at any speed will really use up your energy. So I try not to get below half, because obviously that's when cannibals come along. And this is a place that I've been using. You can see the peninsula down here. It's always been quite safe. Well, fairly safe. You could always put a wall across the ravine that goes down and get a lot of protection. And the cannibals and big uglies don't like to go down there, but they will. So as you come along, you'll find the first ravine. Things have changed down here. It used to be that stack of rocks going out onto the peninsula was a good entry-exit going up and down. With the last version, 59 or so, they changed that. It's too, well, gravity took over. You can't come up and down that without help. Good thing about this is there's lots of sticks up here, and there's food, and there's stones, and it's pretty safe. So the last time I came, I ran down here and put up my security shelter so that I can save. And then I went down the slope because I didn't have anything with me except a few sticks. I went down and I couldn't get back out. It was too slick. So I thought I was stuck down there, and I tried to swim up, around back up towards the Shark Beach, but that's a long way. And there are sharks in the water. Now, a lot of people build down here. It's a great place. You have, as you can see, deer, and you also have turtles coming ashore on this end usually. You can get a rope at that rowboat out there. And the cannibals and the big uglies, mutants, really don't like to come down the hill because they can't get back out either. But I finally found that I could, with a lot of work, climb out down at this end of the peninsula and go back up, at which point I chopped down a bunch of trees and threw them down, and I used the custom stairs and built a path back out. When I come to a base, I always try to bring a little food. If he'll stand still. Okay, turtles, you can get shells for the water collectors, you get the meat, you get ropes. And a lot of people come down here and build because it's a big flat space. And I enjoyed it too until I got chased down here by an Armsy and the cowman and about a dozen cannibals, and hard to get back out. So I had found this strip of land going along the bottom of the cliff. And it would be easy using custom stairs to make an entry-exit point up here. because you can climb this far, but this is it. But it's easy to put one set of stairs up. So when you come, chop down 5 or 10 trees and throw them down, and you can do that before you get interrupted by the cannibals. One of the first things I do again over here, you're surrounded by water, so I build a raft. Next thing I do is come down here along this little beach thing, and I put up a wall, lots of rocks, and I have a little gate under. Discovered that one day, building a rock wall. Just accidentally went under it. In stand-up mode you can't, and neither can the cannibals or the big uglies. But if I toggle crouch mode, I can walk under it. So that is the first one of safety, and I've never had a cannibal or one of the big uglies come under it. Cliff is very safe. Throw down logs. The trees, lots of trees, just cut them down and throw them over, and you ought to be pretty safe. I throw over enough to build a log house because it is a lot more stable than a raft. Takes a lot longer to build it, but I got time. Lots of trees, and just cut them and throw them over. And I usually try to cut 15 or 20 trees and just toss them over the cliff, because then I can come down and pick them up and build as I wish. And I build very, very slowly. The first thing I built down here was a floor, and I put in a shelter so I can save and I can sleep. And I keep it fairly simple, and I store a few things, some alcohol and medicine and a drink and a snack. Keep a big box of sticks, because first thing you do when you run out of sticks is it rains on you and you get really cold. Throw in a couple of gardens, which I don't really find work too well. I seldom get anything useful because you have to sit there for 2 or 3 days, and if you go away, they'll blossom and grow and disappear. So it's just a little bit of a pain. And you don't really need this much. Again, my walk under, and I keep my weapons up here, the explosives. If they do break through, I have a little more protection. And I built it out of rock because I'll come here for 2 or 3 days. Lots of rock shows up on the beach. And I build it safely because I don't know what's going to happen. So that's another reason to have the my nice big floating house. Again, simple little food, a lot of sticks, bed, fire, and extra logs on top, and I can pick them up and store them here and go other places to build. Over there is an island. That's the other safe place. I could get there from here with a raft. I'm not going to swim it. But when I come down, the first thing I do is, again, building the raft. I go down there where you can see just a little bit of stuff built on the cliff face. I go down from the land side, there's another ravine, and I build a custom stair walkway down to the water. Throw in a bunch of logs and build a raft. Or come over here and build one, and then I can take it over there. And then I can build out here on this little island, which has a lot of birds, a lot of turtles. And then it has, of course, a lot of stones, so I can build, as I will take a look at. These are two very, very safe places. I'm going to sleep now, and we'll take a look at that one tomorrow. Very, very safe. Lots of trees, lots of food. We'll go around and look at the island and see why I think it is, right now, it is safe. Until the developers decide to let the cannibals make submarines or battleships or something. The thing is, when you're down here again, you gotta have some steps to get out. I was stubborn and I just kept working my way along until I got down to this end and managed to find a way up. And then I just went ahead and put the steps up that way because it seems to be pretty safe over here, and I can protect it if I need to. From here we head on east. If you've been down this way, you know that there's a cliff, that there's a native hut, village hut, right out by the cliff face. So you get a little activity along here. Let's go into stealth mode, crouch mode with the axe, because I've been attacked a few times along here. The village is inland right there. Over here you have an awful lot of trees. You can cut them down and a lot of them will fall down into this area. You just bring them down here and throw them over, and there you have the safe spot. Even the little skinnies can't jump down there and survive, I don't think. But I often run into a group of the usual 3, but more often lately 6 to 8 to 10. But here's a good reason to have the base back there. You can always pick up some ropes and some gasoline for the chainsaw. Sometimes you get blueberries here. The cannibals don't usually come right down through the hut, but they do come down along this area here, which has another little ravine or something leading up to the village. And this is the other ravine. Does not get much activity at all, but they will chase you down there. I put a marker so I can find it at night when I'm running. And when I'm in crouch mode like this, the birds just wait and I get feathers. If I'm not in the crouch mode, they fly away. This is the way the natives will usually come down. And there's the village right there. Another reason I like both these bases is I can go in there, sneak in, grab some dynamite, grab some cloth, grab whatever I want to grab, go down in the cave and get some booze, come back out, and then if there's too many of them to fight, run for either one of these bases. And again, when I come down here, quite often, as I said, I make a raft. Actually, I make 2 rafts over on the by the peninsula where we just were. You can see part of it there. And again, I come over here and chop down a bunch of trees and throw them down the hill. And a lot of my building is just because I am trying to work up courage to go back into a cave. So I'll come down and build something out of a lot of rocks. But this isn't a bad little cave right here. But I chop down a few trees, throw them down, come down here, build some stairs right down to the water, and row away. Of course, with the developments making these things a little bit unsteady, I spent a little bit of time underwater looking for the E icon to turn it back over. But again, this is a good place to just mess around while you're thinking about the caves again. And you can build things, and you can restore your larder, so you can get some food. Lots of turtles here. What I like to do is crouch, take out my katana, and go bird hunting. I don't usually chase the feathers. Quite often I get 3 every time I hit. If I spam fast, I get 2. I won't need the head. And again, I build out of logs. And I mean out of stone, and I bring just enough logs out to build a roof. Like the looks of it. And I do it slowly. A few sticks at a time. Usually I fill this up with sticks and logs. And again, my low entry, I don't think anybody's going to be out here. But the cannibals and the big mutants got to kick down the wall before they come in, and I can just crouch and come right on in. And again, I have a weapon stash here when I make a run on the village. Plenty of food, plenty of water, nice rabbit fur bed. Looks like I need a... Oh, there we are to finish the bed. So just bring this stuff out one at a time. I can finish this roof and I'll figure out a way later. But it's just to have fun with it. If you like to build, you have a great spot up here on top. You have another little island over there that you can build on. I'm building a rock wall out to it so I can walk out the rock wall. But just to walk over there, I doubt that I'm going to have any mutants visit here, but we'll see. Up on the hill, on top of the cliff, you see the village hut that I call the Cliff Hut, and that's a marker inland from between this ravine and the other ravine down there. Inland leads pretty much to the village, and I can go raid it. But it's not a fast build, although it doesn't look real good. It's a slow build. Come out, spend 2 or 3 days, work up my nerve, and then go back into a cave. The only cave really close is, of course, the one in the village from here, but I've got all the supplies there that I can go loot the village and enjoy my little rock house on the beach.